Welcome back, subbies, or welcome to our channel. If you are new, I am Sherry, and welcome to Talk on This. Guys, if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell for more videos just like this. Leave us a comment. We love comments on this channel, and also give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode. All right, let's get right into it. I want to start off this video by just saying that homelessness is a serious and a sensitive topic. You know, we have to all be thankful every day for all our blessings and the blessings that we have, and the good fortune that we are blessed with. No one knows what can happen at any time to us. But I want to look at homelessness in a grand scheme of everything. Not just looking at it as let's allow homeless people to do what they want to do, and let's give them the right to just live on the streets and wash and bathe and sleep and panhandle in public areas, but not really solving the main issue of why are they there. These are laws, and I'm going to speak about it in this video, laws that are aimed at allowing the homeless to do as they please in public. And sometimes, you got to do what you got to do, but you got to look at the big scale of things. Is this the solution? Are you encouraging homelessness? Are you encouraging people to just want to live on the street, and if they're allowed to do whatever they want to do? Is this actually helping the homeless person? If people are more concerned right now, and laws are more concerned with green technology, the electricity sector, climate change, reproductive health, gender equality, these are the issues, and this is where the main money goes. And if I have time, I'll put a video at the end of this video about Bill Gates talking about where the majority of money in government is allocated, and how a lot of these NGOs and foundations like his foundation are nowhere to what they know what to do, what to get involved in order to get this money coming in, because where the money is where you wanna basically put your concern and put your ideas to where you're gonna get the most money generated towards your idea. And right now it's climate change, and he talks about it, and this is where the money is. It's almost as if homelessness and the poverty are just just thrown in for good measure. And I'm going to talk about this, but it just reminds me of Lazarus and the rich man. Lazarus was at the rich man's gate, and the rich man did not bother him. He was just there begging. He didn't bother him, but yet he never helped him. He allowed him to beg and be there doing what he's doing, but did he really? He did not help him. He did not try to take time to provide shelter for him, give him food, give him clothing, help him get back on his feet, figure out what went wrong. He did none of this. He was not concerned with him at all, but he allowed him the right to just sit there and beg in front of his gate, and he gave him that freedom. But he did not help him. He did not, build up his spirit and help him to want to be in society again normally. And this is what I'm going to talk about in this video. Are we really helping homeless people by allowing them just to do what they want to do in public? Are we encouraging homelessness on the street? Can we do more? And of course you can do more, but the money is not being allocated to the homeless and to poverty. Government talks about it, but there are millions and millions of people around the world homeless and needing actually help and counseling and shelter. Nigeria has the world's highest number of homeless people, and that's in the world. Out of the 50 states, American states, over 500,000 people, actually 582,000 Americans, are experiencing homelessness every night. Per night. This is per night, according to a 2022 study by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. This is crazy. California, Vermont, Oregon have the highest rates of homelessness across the 50 states. You have Seattle that has a major homeless crisis in their country. King County, 40,000 people without homes. Now, this is a serious issue, but is the government really paying attention? And even in your country, is there really attention being paid on how do we help these people? How do we get to the root cause of why they're on the streets? I know there's an immediate need, yes. And for these people, they need to bathe, they need to do what they have to do, but you don't encourage this. You have to have a standard in society. You have to have law and order in a society. You have to set a standard. You cannot be without order in society unless you're going to have countries, cities, just overwhelming with people on the street, camped out on the street. And that's happening now because no one wants to address the main issue. No one wants to get to the root of the issue. No one wants to counsel these people, spend money to shelter, build up shelters for these people. But they want to give them rights to just squander on the road. Squander here, squander there. You could wash in public, do this. Anyway, guys, I want to get into the video. And just let me know what you guys think, because what do you think about this? Is giving them the right. And anyway, I'll get into it. Is this the solution? Is this the solution? Could more money be spent getting to the root cause of the problem, for shelters and upgrading these shelters? You hear the countless stories of women going to these shelters with their kids and they don't know if they're gonna get raped. The bathrooms are dirty. They go in one day, a bed's there, the next day there's no bed. They're on the streets again. We need more shelters in these countries, in our country, and we need more safe houses. This is where the money's supposed to be spent, not just allowing people to do what they want to do. That's not love. That's not helping. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and we'll get into this video. Okay, guys, what I want to talk about today is the March 8 principles presented by UNAIDS, which is a branch of the United Nations, the International Commission of Jurists, or ICJ, International Commission of Justice, and the Office of the High Commission for Human Rights. Now, they put out this document called the 8 Principles, March 8th being being Women's Day, and they put out these principles that are, what, as they say, a foundation for law moving forward, and their goal is to meet this by 2030. And I talked in part 1 and 2, if you haven't listened to it, on the agenda, this sinister agenda of the United Nations on gender equality being the main focus. It is actually part of a set of 17 goals that is part of this 2030 agenda, and they are pushing these goals into law around the world. So they are pushing their UN member states, the UN members states, to put these into law. Now, I spoke on part 1 and 2 about this, so please, if you haven't listened to that, please do so. But there are also these set of principles that are also on board with this agenda, and of course they had to get the legal assistance from the ICJ on this, and the ICJ put out this document that is a foundation for these law principles, or these for as a guideline for law, and it's a little it is very disturbing, actually. And I want to talk about these, and I sent out I put out a question on YouTube, and I asked the simple question: should the homeless be allowed by law to engage in life-sustaining activities in public places, including hygiene-related activities? Is this the solution? Is this the solution? And well, this is just one of many principles that is included in these March 8 principles put out by the UN and the ICJ. And I want to talk on a few of them that are just really disturbing, especially the one on Principle 21 on life-sustaining activities in public places and conduct associated with homelessness and poverty. It's almost as if they're saying we don't want to be bothered helping you in terms of counseling you, spending money on you, feeding you, building homeless shelters for you, helping you to find work. Do whatever you want. We're letting you do whatever you want. This is showing our love. This is just like a parent showing abnormal love to a child by saying, do whatever you want. I don't have time to be bothered with you. I'm going to let you do whatever you want. This is how I love you. This is how I'm showing love. When in fact this isn't love at all. It's just getting someone out of your space because you don't want to be bothered with them. But yet you're setting them up for disaster, and you're setting up society for disaster. This is not the solution, guys. And I want to hear what you guys think about this and have to say about this. But I just had to talk on it really quick because and you can find these principles. Just look them up on Google. Look up UNAIDS March 8 principles, and you can actually download this document, and you'll find it there. But it's made public, so it's out there. And I want to talk on Principle 21 to start with. And this is the principle on talking about homelessness and poverty. Now, let me just read what it says first. It says, no one may be held criminally liable for engaging in life-sustaining economic activities in public places, such as begging, panhandling, trading, toting, vending, hawking, and other informal commercial activities, including involving non-contraband items. When is hawking a economic activity? This does not make sense. For B, they may not be held criminally liable for B for engaging in life-sustaining activities in public places such as sleeping, eating, preparing food, washing clothes, sitting, or performing hygiene-related activities, including washing, urinating, and defecating, or for other analogous activities in public places where there are no adequate alternatives available. They may not be held criminally liable for on the basis, it goes on, it says where there's no adequate alternatives available, C, on the basis of their employment or means of subsistence, or their economic or social status, including their lack of a fixed address home or their experiencing homelessness in practice. Guys, this is just ridiculous. This is crazy. So you can allow people to defecate and urine in public places. And public places means not only going into a public restaurant and washing up or doing these things. They can actually do this on the street. They can actually set up a vending place on the street if they need that money to survive. They can put that in front of a public place, in a public parking lot, and they can wash on the street. They can eat in front of outside in front of the street, panhandle where they want in public. They can spit and do whatever they want all over in public places. This is just ridiculous. This is not helping the homeless at all. We are supposed to actually have places set up for homeless people. We are supposed to have places set up where we can counsel these people, where we can house these people with security. Right now it's even starting now. I mean, you can't really just go out and give a homeless person food and give out food like that on the street. You actually have to have permission to do that. You can't just go out and give someone food and other toiletry items, because they will that's actually not permitted. I think that's against the law. I know my daughter told me that you actually have to have permission to do this in certain places. So this is even starting now. And you just can't go out and give out stuff to the homeless anymore. They're trying to stop all of this, because they don't want to spend. It seems as if they don't want to really spend money to build up shelters to home these people. And this is where the money is needed. You need to build shelters, have adequate beds, and a safe place for these people to stay. They need housing. And seems like this is a set of guidelines for laws to abstain from trying to set up any type of housing or any type of money being generated in this area will be diminished, because they're saying, okay, well, we're allowing them to do what they want to do, so why do we have to spend money on housing and training them to work, or providing job assistance or counseling, or trying to build their spirit up to put them back put them back in the working area as normal people. But it's like, just do what you want to do. And this is not the solution. Guys, I would like to hear what you have to say on this, because this is just horrible. And this is just one of the really sadistic principles that are part of these March 8 principles. And I wanted to touch on. Let's talk about another principle. Principle 16. It says, consensual sexual conduct, irrespective of the type of sexual activity, the gender or sex, the sexual orientation, the gender identity or gender expression of the people involved, or their marital status, may not be criminalized in any circumstances. My God, what is this saying? This is saying that they're allowing, obviously, infidelity. They're allowing basically, you can have sex with anyone, anything, it is ridiculous. Any type of sexual conduct, once it's consensual, is allowed, is wanting to be allowed. And then obviously, regardless of your marital status, that means you can, if you're married or not, it is allowed. This is just, allowing immorality to just fester. This is just crazy. And then what is even more disturbing is the consensual sex between of anyone under 18. Let me just read what it says real quick. It says, moreover, sexual conduct involving persons below the domestically prescribed minimum age of consent to sex may be consensual. In fact, if not in law, in this context, the enforcement of criminal law should reflect the rights and capacity of a person under 18 years of age to make decisions about engaging in consensual sexual conduct and their right to be heard in matters concerning them. I mean, so, and there's no minimum age, so anybody under 18 can consent to have sex with an adult, basically anyone over 18, so an adult can be allowed to have sexual relations with a minor, and they gave no minimum age, so oh my goodness, this is just ridiculous. I can't even express the immorality here, and just you're allowing minors to be exploited and taken advantage of, without the law getting involved and being, people are not going to want to press this issue, because once you say that it is law, it's consensual for an adult under 18 to conduct in sexual activities once, and for their voice to be heard once it's concerning them. I mean, you're just children under 18, and they gave no minimum age again. This is, their minds are not developed to the point where they know what's good for them, what's right for them. And these are who we need to protect. This is who the law needs to protect. And this is just allowing for just immoral activities to take place. You guys, you have to read these principles. That is just, it's just words cannot express how immoral these principles are. And also, it's just, again, allowing for people to do whatever they want. Their whole thing is that criminalization really should be the last resort for anything. So we're becoming we're becoming a lawless society, and this is where we're headed. This is where this world is headed, where laws will not be in place. Everyone will be able to do what they want to do, and this is the world that people are trying to now create, a lawless society, allowing people to do whatever they want to do and just fend for yourself, basically. The law will not be there to defend these immoral activities. This is horrible, guys. We don't live in a perfect society. People have been persecuted unfairly and still are being persecuted unfairly and unjustly, but we have to fight for truth to the end. This does not give society the right to not criminalize immorality. You cannot live in a society without laws based in truth, because you're going to have a society, a lawless society full of immorality. But it does not surprise me, because these are the end times and this is where we're headed. But while we're here as Christians, we have to fight and defend the truth. Guys, I want to leave you with 4 principles that are part of this March 8 document, about these March 8 principles. And principle 15 talks about abortion. They are pushing, the United Nations are pushing to legalize abortion straight across the board. And it doesn't surprise me because of the talks on gender equality and reproductive health rights. And then you have principle number 17, sex work, which is prostitution. They are calling prostitution work. This is crazy. And they want to legalize this straight across the board as well. And, all this is just crazy. And then we get to principle number 19, which talks about HIV. No one should be penalized for not disclosing that they have HIV. Only if you give it to someone intentionally. But if you won't be held accountable for not disclosure, that just doesn't make sense to me. But principle 20 talks about drug use and possession, purchase and or cultivation of drugs for personal use. They want to make this legal, make drug use legal straight across the board. Minors under 18 can use drugs. Not what's even worse is you can use drugs while you're pregnant and not be held accountable or responsible for this. So if you know someone who's pregnant and they're using drugs, they will not be held criminally liable. You can't do anything about it by calling the law. This is crazy. This is inhumane. This is actually inhumane. This shows a lack of empathy when you allow people to hurt themselves and hurt an unborn child, who has no rights. We're here to protect humanity, and yet they want to allow this immorality. Principle 20 talks about it's okay though if you allow a drug addict to get, if you give them safer drug kits and show them a safer way to use drugs, give them syringes. This is crazy. This is encouraging immorality. Moreover, principle 20 talks about the distribution of drugs, that it can be allowed. It's not going to be illegal to distribute drugs. And so you can have a society where you have criminals and drug dealers in communities, and you cannot call law enforcement. There will be no more task forces against drug lords and drug dealers. Where are we headed? Oh my goodness. Anyway, guys, I want to leave you with Romans 7, verse 8 to 11. And the Apostle Paul talks about the laws of God and how the laws of God reveal guilt. And he says, for apart from the law, sin is dead. Once I was alive apart from the law, but when the commandment came, sin sprang to life and I died. I found that the very commandment that was intended to bring life actually brought death. For sin, seizing the opportunity afforded by the commandment, deceived me, and through the commandment put me to death. So then, the law is holy, and the commandment is holy, righteous, and good. He's saying before law came into being, before law was, sin was dead, because there was no law telling you that what you were doing was wrong. But when the law came to show you of your wrongdoing, to show you that what you were doing was wrong or is wrong, then you turned away from that sin. If you want to follow the law, and if you follow the law, you turn away from the wrongdoing and you follow truth. And this is why the law is good, because it illuminates sin, it illuminates wrongdoing, and it shows you not to do what is wrong, and it tells you what to do that is right. And this is why law is good. Guys, people without laws against immorality will grow up in a society alive to sin and dead to Christ and morality. Laws should be based in truth and in morality on God's law. And these laws show us our guilt and sin so that we become dead to sin and alive to truth once we follow these laws. Guys, let me know what you think about all of this. About the March 8 principles. I'd like to hear your part of it. And then also about the homeless situation. Should homeless people just be allowed to live and do what they want to do without without really allowed to do what they want to do without really helping and solving the issue. Is this the issue? Is this the problem? To allow people to do what they want to do in a homeless state? Is this encouraging homelessness? Is this helping and solving the problem? Or should we get to the root of the issue and help these people in a way that will get them off the streets and not encourage them to be on the streets by allowing this to happen and turning a blind eye to it.